All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Day 2 here of the NFL draft, and the picks are starting to fly. The Chiefs are on the board. Actually, they're already about to make their pick. Let's see who they're going to take. Omar Norman Lott taken, DT out of Tennessee. The Eagles are officially on the clock, and still a lot of value depth here on the board. I honestly am starting to feel like they're going in the trenches. I mean, you look at everything as it stands right now. A lot of the guys I liked in this second round are off the board. You know, the Mason Taylors of the world, just a bunch of defensive linemen. And a lot of guys that I liked went off the board. Nick Scorton went off the board. Oladejo went off the board. TJ Sanders went off the board. Trying to think of who else. Oh, Trey Amos just got drafted by the Commanders, which hurts. Donovan Ezeraku went to the Cowboys. So honestly, man, a lot of the guys that I liked here at the end of the first round, second round, went to some of the teams in this division, which stinks. But if we're looking at overall players right now, Darius Alexander, Savon, Ravel, maybe Howie just decides to go in the trenches. But the Eagles pick is already in. They took Jahad Campbell last night. So let's see who the Eagles are going to take. Obviously, still a need at safety, maybe corner, right? You could go draft a corner depending on how you want to play the board here. I honestly thought Howie might have traded out of this based on not trading up. I thought he'd trade up, honestly. But they're probably going to go in the trenches, probably on the defensive line if I had to guess, as long as they don't go with Shedeur Sanders. All right? No Shedeur Sanders. He is still on the board. There's been a lot of hype about Shedeur Sanders. They've been talking about him since the draft show started yesterday, and he is still on the board. No quarterback factory, no Shedeur Sanders, okay? Anybody else? Kevin Winston Jr., a safety. I believe they met with him. Hold on, I have the visit list here. Yeah, the Eagles did meet with Kevin Winston Jr. Another guy is Marcus Bowe out of Purdue, a guy that they have liked a lot. Anthony Belton got selected earlier in this second round. Even Charles Grant out of William and Mary, I believe he's still on the board. There's always a lot of picks, a lot going on. Yeah, Charles Grant, number 1 O tackle on the board right now. But I honestly feel like they're going on the defensive line. Landon Jackson from Arkansas still there. Here it is, man. Last pick of the second round. Starting to fly, man. Not too many trades. I mean, a couple here and there. Jordan Birch, edge out of Oregon, still on the board. I mean, they have to go defensive line, right? It feels to me like they're going with the defensive line. They talked a lot about Jahad Campbell, right? Almost a hybrid. You can play off-ball linebacker. You can come up on line of scrimmage. Shout out to Bo Allen, man.
I'm honored to be here representing the Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles tonight. Go Birds!
Go Birds. Here we go.
With the 64th pick, the 2025 NFL Draft, the Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles select Andrew Mukuba, defensive back, Texas.
So the Philadelphia Eagles go with Andrew Mukuba, a safety out of Texas, a guy who did have a day 2 grade, and a guy that I think they liked during this pre-draft process. Let me check. Did they actually have him in for a visit? I don't have him on my list here. All right, so Andrew Mukuba, the new safety for the Philadelphia Eagles. I was just looking at his profile, and he actually had a 4th-round grade, so maybe this was a bit of a stretch, but I had heard him mostly in the 3rd round. So the Eagles decide to go at the end of the 2nd round, right when they're starting the 3rd round. And, you know, I think this is a good value pick. You look at his stats here. He had a breakout season, 5 interceptions for Texas this season. He had 4 tackles for loss. He had 69 total tackles. And this guy plays with a lot of physicality. He plays with a high motor, a lot of energy, great ball hawking skills. He's very attention to detail, detail-oriented, just a guy who can move all over the field. You could actually play him in the slot if you need to. And he's just an overall high-level player, and he had a big-time season. Now, the big knock on him is his size. He is a little bit undersized. He's 5'11", 6 feet, 185. So, he could be pushed around a little bit, could miss some tackles when diving at the legs. But overall, I think this is a good pick when you think about the Eagles safety position and you think about what they are trying to do. The Philadelphia Eagles have to figure it out. Now, maybe they go sign Justin Simmons, but they traded C.J. Gardner-Johnson. And they need a safety. Not saying that Sidney Brown can't be the guy. He's surely going to compete. He's surely another physical, tough mentality type of safety who's going to get an opportunity. But if they don't feel 100% confident in Sidney Brown right now, and I don't think they should based on his injury history, then Andrew Mukuba is another guy that's going to come in and hopefully provide some value for the Philadelphia Eagles. So honestly, I'm surprised that they didn't go on the defensive line, but I think they're just looking at value right now and kind of projecting, who they can go with and who's going to be available at their next pick and so on and so forth. So Andrew Mukuba, the newest member of the Philadelphia Eagles. They actually had a couple other guys here in front of them, Kevin Winston Jr., Xavier Watts, but let's see if we can find Andrew Mukuba, and let's see if they have a little bit about him. Here we go. Andrew Mukuba, free safety and nickelback, ran a 4.45 at the combine, runs well on tape. He reads the quarterback, has the range to play center field and single high looks. His arms are short, but he closes and times his hits well enough to break up catches. Tied for the SEC lead in interceptions. Quick to get downhill, defending the run, beating blockers. And I think he plays well for his, little bit of being undersized. So very excited for this guy. And I don't think a lot of people saw a safety coming just yet, but the Eagles decided to go with him. They viewed him as their highest player on the board right now. Give me all your thoughts down below. What do you think about this pick? Where do you think the Eagles go next? Appreciate everybody for tapping in.